Mhm. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm saying good evening because it's evening where I am. But good morning, wherever you are. If you are in a place where it's morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Um, we are on day number 26. Can you imagine that? Day number 26. And it's a Friday. So I hope that you're all preparing for a wonderful weekend. And let me wish you, before we even begin, let me wish you a lovely, lovely weekend. A weekend that's full of the things that you want, whether you want to rest or you want to work, you want to hang out with your family. Um, Enjoy your weekend. My weekend has begun like everybody else's because it's Friday night, but tomorrow morning, well, in a matter of a few hours, I shall be getting up again, putting on my hiking boots and my short, getting my camel back out and filling it with water, etc., and going walking. I'm doing a hike tomorrow. I'm in Montserrat, this little island that I love so much, and we are doing what we call a walk across Montserrat, which means that we are going from the furthest point that we're allowed to, since we've had the volcanic eruptions, um, and heading the furthest point we're allowed to in what is now called the exclusion zone, the area where the volcanic activity has decimated the country, destroyed the landscape, and destroyed people's homes, and from which people have had to migrate. And so we're walking from there right across the island. It's not a very big island, so it's not a very long walk. It's not a marathon. It's about half a marathon, actually. It's like 12 miles or something. But it's up. There's a lot of hills in this mountainous volcanic little island. And so it's not a piece of cake. It's not going to be an easy walk. We did it last year. We're doing it to raise funds for the Montserrat Brain Trust, which I think I said a couple of days ago. I run the Montserrat Brain Trust. I started the Montserrat Brain Trust a couple of years ago, and this is one of our fundraisers. This is one of our annual fundraisers. It's our second annual fundraiser, actually. And it was so much fun last year. We decided to make it an annual one, and so this is the second one. So I get up tomorrow morning. I'm on the road before 4 o'clock because I have to be at the meeting point at 4 o'clock, and then we're going to drive to the exclusion zone and then walk all the way back across the island. It'll be fun. Let me invite you to come join us next year. Why not? Montserrat's a beautiful place. It's a really, really beautiful place. And the walk it's fun. It's summertime and there are mangoes and tamarind and guavas and all kinds of cool things to eat along the way. Plus, our people are very outgoing and engaging people, so they will talk to you. They will ask you questions about yourself, about your life, where you come from, who you are, what you do. They're not intrusive, but when they get in a conversation, they have a real conversation. So, years ago, Montserrat was the site of the Air Studios. George Martin, who was the manager for the Beatles a long, long time ago, opened the Air Studios in Montserrat in the 1980s. Yeah. And it was a really, really happening place. As it turns out, I was not on island at the time. I was away at school, and so I missed all the fun. I missed the Rolling Stones and Stevie Wonder and Duran Duran and the Beatles and Chicago. I missed a bunch of people who came. The Police, all of them came to Montserrat to record, had a great time. People still talk about them, and I missed all that fun. The Rolling Stones jamming in a little in the yacht club with just people hanging there. Stevie Wonder playing the piano, and yeah, I missed all of that. Sting hanging out surfing with Danny Srini on the ocean. But yeah, this little island we've had some really, really wonderful times on here. So other people have had some wonderful times on it. It's changed because of the volcanic activity, but it is still really, really beautiful. As a matter of fact, the first time I returned home after the volcano had erupted, and I came with my heart in my mouth because I wasn't quite sure what I would see, what it would be like. And I have to admit that as the ferry approached the island, It was in the early evening, and I could see the mountain, the volcano, glowing red and beautiful and powerful and majestic. For a moment, I forgot that that beautiful, powerful, majestic thing was destroying my island, destroying people's lives. Many people left. Most of the people left, as a matter of fact. They migrated because they lost their homes, their land. It was no longer safe. And at the time, our government did not have the foresight to think that the most important thing to do was to ensure that the population stayed. Because once they've gone, they've gone. Once they've gone, they've gone. And that's what happened with Montserrat. So we're in this very delicate place where we hardly have enough people to have a viable country, but we desperately want to have a viable little island. And so we are dancing along that line and doing whatever we can, failing in many respects, just because we're doing whatever we can to rebuild our island. That's one of the reasons why I remain connected to here, because there is some rebuilding to be done, a lot of rebuilding to be done, and I believe that I can contribute to that. So I come and I do my work. I do my work here to help rebuild. So part of my work here is doing things like the Montserrat Brain Trust and the walk across Montserrat to re-energize and reignite some activity and some emotion and some attachment in this little island and in the people of this little island, because it's been a rough road. The last 27 years have been a rough road for us. And yeah, we need to do everything we can to keep going and to get to a good place. So come hang out, come do the walk across Montserrat next year. If you stay with me, and you will know when it's coming up. In any case, let me move on to tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about seated leadership. We've been talking this week about leading from inside, leading from the heart of you, the power place inside you. And leading from inside, for me, is another way of saying being a really, really good leader. A good leader leading in the direction of good, by the way, because there's some really, really good leaders, but they lead in some very dark places. We don't want that. We want to be really good leaders, leading always in the direction of goodness. And so we've talked about self-leadership, which is just knowing yourself, exploring yourself, leading the life that you want, having the courage and the gumption and the foresight and the intelligence and the wherewithal, the personal wherewithal, all of what it takes to lead the life that you want. We talked about soulful leadership, and soulful leadership is leadership from the heart. Leadership from the heart, being connected, feeling connected, and responsible and responsive and sensitive and loving and all of those things, and passionate about the work that you do, the things that you do, and the people you do it with. And then we talked about intentional leadership. Intentional leadership is accepting the responsibility for the effect you are having in the world, the effect you came here to have, accepting the responsibility for the work that you came here to do, and doing it with clarity, with courage, with intent, I guess is the word. And then tonight we're going to talk about seated leadership. And seated leadership is different to the others in that this is specifically, primarily about the people you lead. Seated leadership is when you are the top dog, you are the one in the chair, you are the one who is out front, you are where the buck stops, you are it. You're the one who either makes the decisions or ensures that certain decisions are made. You make policy, you guide, you are the one who sets the direction, sets the stage. And you're the one who accepts the responsibility when things don't work. Yeah. Seated leadership is the one who is the place from which everything else is guided, everything else comes. And it's about the people that you lead. The other three are a lot about who you are, the person you are, the kind of character, personality, values, principles, feelings that you have. It's about knowing yourself, understanding who you are, why you're here, what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're doing it with and for, and loving those and doing those to the best of your ability because of who you are. Seated leadership is all of those things, doing them to the best of your ability because of who you're doing them with and for. So you're leading a group, you're leading a company, you're leading a country. The people you are leading are the primary consideration in this particular aspect. And if you've done the work in the other three, then this one's a breeze. Because if you have done the exploration and the development of self, and you've got to this beautiful, beautiful place where you are open and non-judgmental, and you are clear about where you're going, what you're supposed to be doing, what the values are, what the principles are, but your relationships with people, bear in mind that leadership is a relationship. So if you're clear about how you are in relationship with people, and how to be in integrity in relationship with people, with yourself, then it's easy with people. If you are clear about why you're doing these things, that's the intention part, why you're doing it, why you are leading, why you are this person doing this particular work. Once all those are in place, being the person who is leading other people is easy, because you'll also be leading them from that deep, loving, beautiful, sensible, sensitive, soulful place. I don't need to say any more, really. That's it. If you've done all the work and you are clear and clean and beautiful and soulful, and you've accepted the responsibility for the effect that you're going to have on the world, you will also recognize and accept that your relationship with people has to come from there, and it has to be always in integrity. You have to always be acting on principle. You have to have clear, positive, powerful principles and act from there. So you will treat people, even though you are the one up here, you will treat people with respect. You will honor the dignity in people just because they're humans. You will be sensitive about other people, and you'll also have the courage to stand up with and for the people you are leading. Because that's important. One of the most important things about leadership is not, one of the most powerful, wonderful things is not telling people, is not being able to guide and direct people and tell them where to go and how to do it. It's setting things up so that they trust you. So you have their trust. They trust you to stand up for them, defend them, protect them, support them, help them, all of those things. So the people you lead will know that even when they mess up, even when they screw something up, and even if they're screwing something up merits or gets the ultimate consequence, which is separation from the group, it'll be done in integrity. They'll trust you to be fair, to be just. So they'll know that even when the hard decisions are being made, even when you have to separate someone from the group, you will do it with integrity. So once you build trust, you got everything done. And if you're leading with integrity, if you're leading yourself with integrity, you will lead people that way. And once you do that, your work is done. Your work is done. Trust me on this. Girl Scouts. Your work is done. Trust is what this is all about. Having people trust you. But guess what? For people to trust you, you have to first trust yourself. You have to first develop trust in yourself, in your abilities, your competence, your passion, your purpose, your being. Yeah? When you trust yourself, the confidence shows. When you're confident, people are attracted to you, they notice you. And when you excite the trust in them, they will follow you. They will follow you. They will defend you, just like you defend them. They will stand up with and for you when they need to, when you ask them to. And that's the ultimate leadership of people. This is the shortest piece of this. Of course, when we do the actual training, we go a lot deeper into it, because we talk. There are exercises and activities that we do that clarify all of these. Yeah. So for example, we do role plays where you ask to lead people in certain situations, and people demand that you lead them. And actually, there was one exercise that when I did it first, I was not aware that it was about leadership, or I thought it was a different kind of leadership. There's an exercise I did in some training years and years and years ago called the lifeboat. The lifeboat exercise is really very simple. You're told that you are on a ship and the ship is going down. Ship is going to the bottom of the sea, going to the bottom of the ocean. You're all going to die. Except you have the power to save the lives of some people. I can't remember if there's 7 people, 11 people. I really can't remember. But you are told that you can save the lives of 11 people. Let's say it's 11. I think it was fewer, but let's say it's 11. You get to pick the 11 people whose lives you will save. Well, the first time I did it, I saved 11 people, and Shirley was not one. And my senior reamed me out, because she said, so have you nothing to do here? Why are you here? Do you not know that you have work to do? And if you are not here, how's the work going to get done? And I said, well, I saved those people, and I gave the reasons why I saved all 11 or however many there were. She said, yeah, okay, I hear all of that. But what about the reasons for saving yourself? Because I thought that what leaders do, and I didn't articulate it quite like that, but it seemed to me that what strong people do, what people who are caring and loving and compassionate and so on do, is they sacrifice themselves for other people. They give other people the chance. And what she had me, Rhoda was her name, and Rhoda died a few years ago. I've never forgotten this. She said, Osborne, you have work to do here. If you're not going to do it, how's it going to get done? If you go down with this ship when you could save yourself, and the work doesn't get done, then what? Then you failed. You failed. And she was right. I did that because I'm a woman, and yeah, we trained that that's how it's supposed to. No matter how we push back, it always comes up. It always comes up at some point, because that's our socialization. You sacrifice yourself for others. So I did. I also thought that part of being strong is being able to sacrifice yourself. That's bullshit. It really is. Being strong is staying alive to do your work. It's keeping yourself alive in whichever ways you can, whatever ways you need to do your work. It's looking after your health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, your intellectual health. It's looking after yourself so that you can do your work. It's making sure you are healthy enough to do your work. It's making sure you avoid the sinking ships so that you can stay alive to do your work. It's making sure that when risk occurs, when the danger shows up, you do everything you can to not lose your life, to not fall into that, because you have your work to be done and you do your work. If you lose your life in the process of doing your work, that's an entirely different matter. But you don't give up your life when you're still doing the work. I thank Rhoda every single day for that. And I'm passing this on to you. Seated leadership is about leading people. And seated leadership requires that you consider the people you're leading and think, if you are not leading them, if you are not there to do this leading of them, how will it get done? It requires a little bit of arrogance, I think. Acknowledge that, yeah, or call it confidence. I like the word arrogance. I have a perfume somebody gave me years and years and years ago, but it becomes the first. I still have some. Every once in a while, I find it in Italy only, it seems. It's called Arrogance. A friend of mine gave it to me, gave me 2 bottles once years ago, and I keep buying it. It's beautiful perfume. But the idea of arrogance reminds me of confidence. And because I'm a woman, when I show up with confidence, they call me arrogant and all kinds of other things. And my perspective on that is, well, I am who I am. I came to do the work I came to do. I'm doing my work. I'm doing it well. It's not arrogant. It was Reggie Jackson, I think, who said, it's not bragging if it's true. I make a point of doing my work well, usually, most of the time. Overall, I do my work well. When I'm doing my work, I'm doing my work and I'm doing it well, because that is what I'm here to do. And that is my seated leadership. I teach, I train, I lead people. I prepare myself well. I ensure that what I pass on to them, what I share with them, is good, is positive, is worthy, it's helpful, it's supportive, it's uplifting, it's strengthening, empowering. If I weren't there to do that, they would not get that. They would not get my specific brand. And I have the confidence in myself to acknowledge, to believe that because I am here and because I came with these capacities and capabilities, there are people who will receive it. Furthermore, I came with these capabilities because there are people who need them. And I cannot, therefore, go down with the sinking ship unless I am clear that I have given everything I need to the people who need me to be there. That is seated leadership. So, this week we've talked about leading from inside, and if you want to know more about this, just go to check on the website, and we send out emails and all kinds of information, videos and so on from time to time about the issues, the things that are important, the aspects of leadership that are important to women that we think help and support women. Get on our mailing list on the website, shirleyosborne.com. That is where the Women's Leadership Circle lives. Check it out. Get on our email list. Join the circle. Come sit in circle with us every month, and we talk about these things in detail. When you're part of the circle, when you're a member of the circle, you get access to all kinds of trainings and deep work that we do at the Leadership Circle. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, well, actually, before I say in the meantime, tomorrow is Saturday. We're still in the weekend. I think I said yesterday we're talking about shoes tomorrow. Not sure which shoes, but we're going to talk about shoes. We're going to talk about shoes because shoes are necessary. And shoes, remember that shoes are a metaphor for how you walk in the world. Today I'm wearing my Timberlands because I was working today. Didn't need high heel shoes today. There are times when I do. We talk about that tomorrow. And tomorrow morning I'm going hiking, like I said earlier. I have a long walk. I'll tell you how that went and what insights I might have gathered on my walk. Because when you walk, all kinds of things go on in your brain. If you listen to the Huberman Lab, you'll hear Dr. Huberman talk about what happens when you're doing forward ambulation, what he calls it. And forward ambulation in the morning with the yellow light and lux and lumens and so on. Really interesting. Check it out. The Huberman Lab. It's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or hubermanlab.com, I think it might be. He's a professor at Stanford and he does all these neuroscience things that are really, really interesting and cool. All right, so take good care. Enjoy your weekend. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, day, evening, whatever. See you tomorrow. Take good care.